I'm Courtney.
And I'm Emily. And this is Cheers to That Book Club Edition.
Yes. We promised you guys a little mini-sode to discuss all things book club and our book club book in general. So that's what this episode's going to be about.
Yes, I do want to put out a disclaimer that we're going so rogue today and we don't have a babysitter. We told Addie would give her $5 to watch the boys.
Which just means they're sitting in the living room 5 feet from us.
They're not that far away, and they don't have access to anything with an open flame that we know of. So apologies in advance if you hear things or see things, because they may be making an appearance.
The good thing is, if we can hear them, that means that everything's going well.
Correct.
We have a movie on for them. They have their snacks.
Sit still.
And there's already screaming.
There's a scream. But anyways, okay, so our book club book this month was Nightbitch by Rachel Yoder, which we talked about a little bit, but we haven't gotten a chance to like really dive into it because I read it after we recorded last time. So I haven't been able to share any thoughts on the podcast.
Same.
So you go first. What were your initial takeaways?
Oh my gosh. So the book ended up being way more incredible and impactful than I thought that it was going to be. I had no idea what to expect. You guys know, I raw dog everything. Like, I'm not going to look up the plot on something. And so I just had no idea what it was about. But I feel like at the end of it, I was saying, like, this got me. Like, it got me.
Yeah.
So... okay, that explains nothing about the book, but those were my feelings. What were your feelings about the book?
Kind of similar in the way that, like, I didn't expect it, like, the premise, because I don't really look at plots to books before I read them. Like, I do that with movies and shows really badly, but I don't typically do it with books. So I knew kind of the basis and, like, what the critics were saying about the book. Like, this is weird. This lady's turning into a dog because being a mom's hard. But the actual, like, symbolism and metaphors and the message behind the book, there were certain parts that really resonated with me.
Yes.
And then there were certain parts that didn't. But I would say, like, overall, I think I rated the book highest out of the whole book club.
I think you did. And I rated it a 6 out of 10. I said it was impactful and everything, but it was just a different read that I've read. And like you said this reminds me of kind of a read that we would have had like in high school. Like
a very literary stretch your brain kind of read.
Which I enjoyed.
Yeah, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. But it was challenging. Like, it was not an easy, like, passive, simple read. It was definitely more like work to do it.
I agree.
But I still enjoy the experience, and like, I don't think I'll read it again. But I liked it, and I told my mom she should read it. Like, I think it was really targeted for moms, and so I kind of felt bad for like the girls in our book club that aren't moms, just because like, I don't know that this would resonate with you as much. I think it sounds really freaking weird if you aren't a parent, because like some of the feelings seem so extreme, but they're there and like they are representative of what we experience.
I kind of liked it.
First of all, I'm not giving you $15. I'm giving you $5.
She's negotiating. Why does Tucker need $5?
Why does Tucker need $5?
Because he's not going to let me to.
Okay. It's like negotiating with a terrorist.
So can Tucker have $15 too?
Like, first of all, you tripled your rate and now you want it for 2 people?
Well, if we're talking $15, we should have just
I'll pay for a real person.
$5. These prices are steep these days.
The economy.
God,
inflation's getting out of hand.
Even with 5-year-olds, they know the inflation rates. She knows she can't go to the store and buy anything for $5.
What, am I going to get one single pack of gum?
She knows.
Oh, that was funny.
We can cut out.
We're going to keep some of that in. Yeah. I hope you can hear her negotiating, because that was hilarious. Anyways, I think I rated the book a 7 out of 10.
It's not the best book I've ever read. No. I can't say that, but I did enjoy it. I think it was a great book for book club because it brought up so many different thoughts, perspectives. I liked it because your sister-in-law, who is not a mom yet, had a different perspective.
Absolutely.
And she, like, the fact that she stuck through it and read it was incredible too.
Yeah.
But kind of her point of view of the mom in the book, and she's like, well, it just kind of seems selfish to me.
Selfish, and like a victim mentality.
Yeah, like, just kind of get over it. And I was like, I mean, that's probably how it seems to the outside world sometimes. Yes. So it was a very interesting thought. I really liked having those conversations at book club.
I enjoyed it too. And honestly, like, let's just talk about book club.
Okay. Yeah.
So fun.
It was a blast.
We had the best time.
We joke that we have never been in book club. And so we didn't even know what to expect from our own book club.
Yeah.
And we had quite a good group of girls show
fun.
up for our first one.
Yes. Shout out if you came. We had so much fun.
It was a blast. And it was fun because we got to hang out at first. And then we actually did talk about the book because I didn't know. I'm like, at book club, do you actually talk about the book? Well, I don't know. But
we started at 6 and someone came up to me at like 7:15 and was like, so hey, are we going to like talk about this book? And I was like, you're right. Let's go to the living room, everyone. And we did. And we were like asking questions and chit-chatting about symbolism and sharing our favorite quotes. And it was like, it was just really fun.
Yes, I absolutely loved it. And I liked your idea that we did, and I see that you have them right there, is we asked everyone to bring a quote ready for them.
Yes. Yeah, so some things like if you want to do a book club or you've never been in one or you are in one, you want us to do some suggestions. I just was brainstorming and probably thought of these at 3 a.m. But I wanted everyone to come with their favorite quote from the book. And I've got a little like photo album that I can stick our quotes in. And then I'm going to get our picture printed from this book club and just have that to stick in there as well.
Like a little scrapbook.
Yeah, like a little scrapbook for the year.
And then every time we have book club, we'll bring that out and like, people can look through it too.
Exactly. And by the time we get to like December, imagine like the journey we're going to go on. And like we can look back at January and be like, oh my God, remember when we read Nightbitch? Like that's so funny.
Yeah.
And you'll like, I always, if I see quotes from books, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that part. So a good way to keep it. So everyone came with their favorite quote from the book and a suggestion for next book club. And then we did like name tags. I did little gift bags, like these kind of things that just made it fun and like personalized. And everyone was like really appreciative of everything. And it was great. And so I look forward to seeing everyone else host because it was like fun for me to do it, so I can't wait to see what everyone else turns around.
I'm already really excited. So if you're listening to this, it's a spoiler alert. But for the end of February, because we're doing another book club, we've picked out the wedding people, which, funny enough, we love listening to the toast. And then I saw on their Instagram the redheads,
Jackie Oshry,
which I don't follow the redheads, but she reposted that they're reading the same book for their February book club. I was like, well, it's perfect. And you know it's going to be a good book if like
absolutely,
because they're seasoned book clubbers, like they know what they're doing.
Sure.
But and I was going to talk to you about it. I found these like little DIY like acrylic bookmarks that everyone can make. So like a little bookmark making station.
Cute.
So I was thinking because I liked how you had an activity to go along, you know, with the quotes. It's like that was a little activity, and I think it's a good icebreaker.
Yes,
and especially because there's still going to be new people coming.
Yes,
and so I think just keeping like little icebreakers up that aren't lame, which is really hard to do.
No, it is
because the teacher side of me is like, oh, I have all the lame ideas that I could do.
Our friend Camille was like laughing because she wasn't able to make this one, but she saw our picture and she's like, oh my God, you guys are such teachers with your name tags. I'm like, yes, but you know what? Everyone loved those damn name tags.
Well, because funny enough, a couple of the girls you didn't even know, like you knew friends of friends or family members of them, but you had never met them in person. And I thought that was so cool that they were brave enough to show up to a book club, to someone's house. We could be crazy murderers.
I thought about killing everybody. Just kidding.
But the fact that they were brave enough to just show up to a book club is incredible.
Wouldn't be me.
It shows the power of community. And that's what I told you the next day. We were like debriefing over how everything went. And I'm like, if one thing, well, I don't know if I said this part to you, but it's like if one thing comes out of this podcast, this little thing that we get to do, like, and just have fun and talk is like creating the community that we want for other people too. And I'm like, these girls like showed up and they were so freaking funny.
So fun, so sweet. Well, and I will say, I felt like most of the girls didn't know each other. And so like our friend Anna was like, okay, as an icebreaker, like everyone has to say how they're connected to, like, how do you know Emily? Like, how did you, because like we obviously posted this like on the podcast, but most people that listen, we know, or at least one of us knows. And so we posted the book club stuff on our social media. So they had to know us in some way. And it was like very interesting to see how everyone was connected and like, I don't know.
Well, and then we posted like on just our Facebooks like about it. And I've already had 2 people now like want to join that are around this area.
Oh,
yes.
Fun.
So I had one like for sure confirmed. So I'm just so excited. I'm like, this is what it's about, guys. Like creating this like fun group of people to,
and it's so fun
to actually, but also because I said this too, and I'm like, trust me, I love a good happy hour. I love getting to go visit with people, but I think having like a purpose for a group together is so much more, feels more valuable to me. I think.
Like, how many times have you gotten together with like a group of people? I mean, shit, we do it too. But like, the topic is like talking shit about your life, someone you know. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of negative. Like, we're bored, so we're just like nitpicking our existence. And this feels like, even like with Bunko, it's not reading. Like, it's not maybe as like intellectual, but it's still like we're coming together and doing a thing, and it's so fun.
An activity. And I'm so like activity based right now.
No,
like, I'm
too.
just all about
me
it.
too. It was so fun. I seriously, like, I enjoyed it so much. Of course, our husbands were making fun of us just for like having a book club in general.
Always.
And Connor was like, hey, like, if it's gonna go till 11:30, can you just like, let me know ahead of time? And I was like, yeah. That's my bad dog. Sorry, Connor.
Well, now we know. Now we know.
I
just to go ahead and
hour on the Facebook.
I did. I saw that. It said 6 to 9 p.m. instead of 6 to 8. And then that way it's like, okay, 6 to 11, you know.
Yes. But it was seriously so fun. But yeah, I got some of our quotes that people wrote down. I don't know if you want to half these. We don't have to read some of them.
Yeah, no. I would love to get to read some of the quotes because what I liked is some of these quotes, once I read them because I kept going back over to the little station, like reading everything, and I'm like, ooh, that was a good one. And I didn't even pick up on it in the book. Yes. But I'm like, oh, but it resonates with me reading it.
Yes.
So
I had so many that I highlighted. Go ahead.
This one is actually mine. How funny. So this is directly from the book, and it says, how many women had run out of time while the men didn't know what to do with theirs? And I was like, oof.
Damn.
Because
your time is
we're talking about the mental load. It's not even physical time. It's the mental load of like, I've got to get this and this done. And there's never enough time to fit everything in as we sit and talk for an hour and a half, but never enough time.
Other than that. But like, that is the thing I think with, not that men don't have this, but that is the thing with women is that like our brains just do work differently. And like we crave that kind of, I think the activities of it. And I think men do too, but they're a little different as far as like activities. They want to go like golf or whatever, like these kind of leisurely, like not talk a lot things.
Yes.
And I think women want to connect on such a different level. So it's like, we want to connect, but we also, our internal dialogue literally doesn't stop.
Yeah. Yes.
It got so quiet out there.
Your brother's in there.
Tristan, y'all good?
I guess he's getting the $5 now.
Sorry, Addie. Okay. This quote says, how evil to praise a woman for giving up each and every dream.
Oh,
yeah. And so if you don't know anything about the book, the whole concept of the book is that this is a woman who gave up her career as an artist to stay home with her son. And I think it did such a good job of explaining like the pull you have of being with your child, but also the grief of giving up the other things that you have to give up to be with your kid. And like, there is nothing that you love more or want to do more. And I feel like she really captured that. Like there is a quote somewhere in one of these about the kid being in daycare. And I like feel it. Cause it's like, you want both, you want it all. And really, and one of our friends said it in book club, like, why can't she have both? And it's like, that's not what the option is. But women are praised for being stay-at-home moms. And we should be.
Wait, I was about to say, it's tricky because
we
it's like,
should be.
As you should be, but you're giving up. But what, along with that praise, what needs to be recognized is the fact that you're giving up these other opportunities in your life. And yes, at that time, if you choose to stay home, the opportunity of being with your kid is so much bigger than anything else. But you should also be recognized that you're giving up that piece of yourself.
Well, and I think to me, the big takeaway from the book is that motherhood is complicated as shit.
Yeah.
Like it is
no matter what you do,
complicated thing. And like the way society is structured now too, is that like women do feel that they have to do it all. Whereas there was once an expectation, and if you don't want to have children or you're not able to have children or it's just not on, this isn't your thing, that's okay too.
Yeah.
It's great that we have the option.
Yes.
But for women that like want to just be traditional moms, I think it's you're looked at as like not doing it right. And so I feel like motherhood these days, in the days of internet and social media and everything else, you're screwing it up no matter what you do.
Yes.
Is what it feels like.
Correct.
So anyways, go ahead with your next.
This next one says, it is as if all my dreams have been reset. The walls are blank, and with them, I am blank too.
I wrote
on
that
all
one.
of these. I'm like ready to tear up because it's like you just
I wrote
connect.
that
So,
one.
oh, you wrote. How did I not recognize your handwriting? How dare me? How dare me?
Well, Connor couldn't even pick out my handwriting out of all of them because our handwriting is basic millennial girl handwriting. Yeah, that one got me too because it's like motherhood really does just wipe away a piece of you, but like. Again, you're happy about it.
You're
but it's
fulfilled in so many
bittersweet.
other ways, but you also, it is such an adjustment, and it is, you're resetting your entire life, and it's what you want, but it's okay to also miss a piece of having to reset it.
Well,
it's like, wait, what do I do now?
And like just the transition of resetting your life and who you are as a person. Like typically, in my experience, it's been for the better. Like I have any reset I've had since I've had my son has been in a positive way, but it is like your priorities, the way you have to reset just how your brain works is crazy. I mean, it really is like, what an insane concept that you grow this human, they come out into the world, and now you have to like teach them to be a responsible human being. Like it's a huge mental load and hard to understand. Okay, this quote says, this is me whenever I'm teaching, yet her brain no longer worked as it once had. Because so I was making that to be funny because I can't remember words now.
No, but it's so true.
Like, it is true. Like, well, and I think of it even like my brain no longer works in the way it did in my early 20s because in my early 20s, what I imagined for myself in my life was like being successful, making a lot of money, like being this girl boss, doing these things. And my brain literally is not wired that way anymore. My brain is wired to nurture my child. And it is insane that that is like this overriding biological thing that just happened to me. What do you think?
No, I take it as the way of like, I remember being in that brain fog of having a newborn and a newborn up to like, a year and a half. And it's just like, just brain fog all the time. And you can't articulate your thoughts clearly. And you have so much going on. And so, I mean, that's how I took it is just not being able to like function the same way.
Yes, it's
like,
true.
Oh my God, this is, and they call it like a mom brain, whatever it is, but it's it is real.
I got mom brain when I was pregnant, and I can't. I've probably talked about it on the podcast before. I could not remember the words pantry and closet. They finally have mostly come back to me, but my mom still jokes that I call my pantry my food garage because I couldn't remember the words. Like it is, and I thought that was such a cop out and so stupid. No. Accurate.
Nope. It's
accurate.
A struggle just to get it out sometimes.
Insane. Okay, go ahead.
This one says, that single white, hot light at the center of darkness of herself, that was the point of origin from which she birthed something new, from which all women do. Oh my God, I'm about to cry on all of these.
Gave me chills.
And that one I like because it's like, no matter whether you're a mom or not, you have this like pinnacle piece inside of you that it's just like your rebirth. And especially I think going into your 30s, like that is something I've really been faced with. It's like I've went through so many mental changes going into 30 aside from motherhood. And isn't it beautiful that all women go through that, no matter what choice you make?
And like, I know this book was weird as shit for the people that didn't like it, but one thing that I loved is that they kept saying how magical women were.
Yes.
And that like really, that's something that I think we focus, and we've probably, I'm hoping we're doing a good job articulating our thoughts on this and not sounding whiny. Being a woman is something that we can talk about, like the struggles of being a woman a lot, but we also like forget to take pride in the magic of being a woman. Like what a gift it is that we can create life and like have this femininity and nurture children and raise them and be moms and be aunts and be wives. It's like, and be none of those things if you want, but it is a magical like gift that we do have as women, and I think it's really important.
It's empowering to remember that in the trenches.
Yes, and this book, like really, some of the themes that were stuck with me a lot was the magic of femininity and womanhood, and also the power of a female community.
Yes,
like the power of finding a community within women around you. How valid and important that is.
Yes,
and again, like I pulled this book so far out of my ass. Like I don't know how I landed on it. It was the perfect book club book because it felt like why we were all coming together in a way.
I know.
It really
was crazy how we were not planning on that.
That was
at
an accident.
All, and
that was an accident. I thought we were all just going to turn into dogs. Okay, this one is the one I was talking about with excuse me, I have to burp. With daycare, because this is such a feeling. Like, this is in the beginning of the book when she's struggling with liking her job and wanting to make it work, but also wanting to quit because she is struggling with her son being in daycare. So she said, being at work while her infant lulled around in daycare's linoleum floor had been agony, but being at home was also agony, just of a different sort.
Yep.
And it's like, that is it's so true. And I feel so grateful for my job and our jobs, like being able to stay home, but there is and you get that time with your kid. So motherhood's confusing.
I know.
It's like, I love having time with my son, but there is a part of me that like misses being able to go to the bathroom by myself, right? So it's like, it is just, everyone's suffering all the time. It just is what it is.
No matter what choice you make.
But I'd rather suffer with my child than without.
Yes, correct.
And I mean, our kids still go to daycare, but
I was about to say, they have like, for me, I'm like, they have the perfect little like schedule.
Yes, they're at school
I feel
like 5
I
hours.
get the best of both worlds, and I'm very grateful because I've been a stay-at-home mom. I did it for 8 months, and it was kind of grueling. That's whenever I picked up sewing baby clothes and
that's whenever Courtney became Timu.
Literally, Timu prices. Timu wages also.
She did the math one time, and she realized she made like 18 cents per clothing item, and she was like, what the hell am I doing? But they were so cute.
They were. But I've been on that side. I've also been on the side where my kid's at daycare from 6:45 to 5:30 because of commuting. And I've always been a teacher, but just like commuting and everything. And then now, I have this balance, but it's also hard because when they come home in the afternoons, it's like I still have work to do. And
yes, it's all.
But I'm very grateful for the position I'm in now.
Sure.
But I've been on all ends of it now.
Yes.
And
really, you really have. Okay,
this one says, and what a mean trick to call such things holy or selfless. How evil to praise women for giving up each and every dream.
Oh, that's what.
God, I'm gonna cry again. What the fuck?
Are you just gonna cry the whole time?
I don't know. How evil to praise women for giving up each and every dream. I'm like,
what was the beginning part of that? And what a mean trick to call such things holy or selfless. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I think that goes back to like the other one about praising women for giving up parts of them. It's like, it is great and it is selfless, but women turn into martyrs so often. And I think that it's not even by our choice, right? Like, I don't necessarily want to be a martyr for all of motherhood and like for everyone to be like, well, she's just so selfless. It's like, I think those are good qualities if you are choosing them. Yeah. But if it's thrust upon you and there's not really an option, that's where it gets kind of tricky. And I think it's really just important to remember women and moms as individuals, not just an extension of their child.
And acknowledging. I think the big part of me, I think like I'm working about like on it in therapy too, is I think all of us deep down just want acknowledgement of what we're accomplishing or what we're doing or what we're giving up. It's like the acknowledgement extends so much further than anything else. So I'm like, I don't want your sympathy. I just want acknowledgement of
what a good way to phrase it though. Like, I don't want sympathy. I don't want you to tell me how sorry you are for me. I don't want you to martyr me, make me selfless in this and this. Just be like, hell yeah, dude, good job. Yeah. That's it. Like, exactly. That's all we need to do. Yep. Okay. One day, this is about her transformation. One day the mother was a mother, but then one night she was quite suddenly something else. And that's whenever she turns into like her Nightbitch is like her dog self,
which is basically like kind of an alter ego.
Yes, like, it's like an alter ego. The way it sounds in the book is like she's turning into a dog. What we talked about in book club was the metaphor, and like we should have said this at the beginning. Spoiler for this whole book. I mean, I don't think you'd be listening if you didn't want to. Know what's going on in the book. Sorry, not sorry. But we were talking about like, what does the dog represent? What does her Nightbitch represent? And I don't know who said it. What my thought was like, I think this is Nightbitch is her losing herself like back into her original individual self, stepping out of being a mom and stepping out of being a wife and just being a living, breathing being that is just worried about like surviving and sense of self and like that kind of stuff. So,
I just have one more, and it just says insist on your joy, which I
love
think is a
that
perfect way, and I'm not going to cry on that one because it's just like a perfect way to wrap up my quotes.
Yes. I have two, but one is really short. It's you are so boho.
That's hilarious.
I love that
I don't
one.
even remember reading that.
That was
one.
whenever she shows up to the like multi-level marketing thing and she like looks crazy because she's like embracing her style again and she sounds like grungy.
And they
like,
call her Bo.
You're so boho. And then that
I
girl
love that.
that's like who I think of as like the Regina George of the book, her name's Jen. She starts dressing like her too.
Yes.
And I have one last one, which is not profound or beautiful. His fucking grass, she thought as she crouched by the side of his house and took a monstrous shit.
No, that one's perfect to end
That
our quotes.
she's talking about her neighbor who's like, we all know the guy that's like super meticulous about his lawn and not nice to her son if he walks on it, who's 2 in the book. And when she's not being Nightbitch, she says she takes a shit on his grass. But like, it's just kind of like a fuck the patriarchy moment. I think I don't think I don't know. But yeah, it felt in a lot of ways, this book felt like it was written for me in some spots because it was like a mom of a singular son with a speech delay she mentioned, and a husband that works a lot and travels a lot. And it felt like really targeted at me sometimes. I don't know. It was
you were just able to connect to it
so much.
I connected with it whenever she's talking about her husband being gone in a hotel room. You know, and our husbands aren't gone every single week, but when they're gone to a hotel, we've talked about this. It's hard, it's difficult, and then we think like, oh, they're just living it up. They don't have to bathe the kid. They just get to go eat out. And then my husband's always saying like, well, it's hard on me too because like I miss you guys. I'm like, but it's not the same because I'm surviving.
Right.
And so I was just able to connect with that piece of with her husband, and then I loved how it comes back around at the end and she's finding that connection with him again. And what's funny is, you know, her son in the book is 2, and I'm like, I do feel like it almost takes about that long to like really just find
Get
that
back.
like to get back to what you want in that relationship.
I agree.
Now some people maybe it's instant, but at least that's in my experience. Like I
think
Matt and I are finally trying to find our like balance again with like putting time into each other. And it just took us a while to like get back around to that.
I feel less that way with my connection with Connor, more with my connection with myself. I think that took me a couple of years to find the connection with myself. And that's one thing with her. I think like you see how much better her life gets when she is insisting on her joy and insisting on being authentic to herself and doing things that make her happy and trying things and letting go of expectations. And I think you can see like her relationship improves and her relationship with her son improves, and her level of resentment towards both changes so dramatically. And so it's inspired me to just like continue pushing myself to be authentic and be autonomous and have that identity outside of
for sure
my roles in the house, right? So yeah, overall, like I think worth a read personally.
I think it's worth a read for sure, and then find someone else to read it with, even if you're not in a full book club, because you do need to have that conversation. There's a lot of thoughts that you're going to have while you're reading it that you want to share with somebody.
Well, and you and I talked about it too. Like go into the book knowing everything is a symbol for something else. Like I don't think of it so literally.
It's not literal.
Because I think it sounds really freaking weird if you think it's literal. Like I'm sure it would be even harder to get through, but it was good. I think our book club gave it a 5 out of 10. Because like my sister-in-law rated it like a 2. She was like, this was disgusting.
But maybe we could have like 2 separate categories, like a 5 out of 10, the book itself, but the conversations that came from
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
No, the conversations.
Because
impeccable.
Guess what? What I'm afraid is going to happen with this next book is it's going to be a really good book, but are the conversations going to be as good and as deep? So
I know.
We'll see.
I wonder. So the next book, I can't remember the author's name, but the next book is The Wedding People. And I was doing someone's hair the other day and she was like reading the synopsis to me and I was like, oh no.
I know.
It's a rom-com.
But it's like so popular right now. And it's February. It's like
it'll be good.
The month of love.
Well, and like everything doesn't have to be so serious and like literal and make everyone cry. Like, I mean, I think everyone was trying not to cry at book club because we were just like talking about like romantic quotes. And it was like such a struggle. But so it's fine to have like something light too. And I mean, we'll just come up with questions. Like I will come up with questions to make it a little more organized. One thing that we did want to try to do like in talking about book club is like making it where everyone feels like they have a chance to talk. We threw around the idea of a talking stick.
Which is a little extreme, but we
extreme.
get so excited about just talking in general, and I think I'm trying to learn, literally,
Clearly.
just someone tell us to shut the hell up, please, because I want everyone to feel like it's this space that they can have too. And
I was also going to say we're so comfortable interrupting each other as I was interrupting you.
Oh no, literally, I was doing that with Matt's cousin's girlfriend, Remy.
Yes,
I was I caught myself. I said, "I'm so sorry, I'm interrupting you," and she was like, "It's okay," and then continued her conversation. I'm like,
but that's how we talk to each other. I catch myself and I realize I feel like I do it a lot. I'm like, I don't let you finish a sentence before I start talking.
And I don't think about it because I don't let you finish the sentence, so it doesn't bother me. But for other people, I think
I know, especially when we're trying to have this full dialogue with a group and we're like,
one thing to know about us, we're a work in progress.
One thing to know about us is we don't ever shut the hell up.
As our husbands would say.
Yeah, Matt literally is y'all's conversation is continuous. It does not.
The one day that he was or I thought that there were lulls in our conversation because I was really tired. You were tired when we ate lunch together. And he was like, no, I still didn't have a chance to talk. I was like, oh, I just thought that we were having a normal, slow conversation.
Well, I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago, but I'm like, I thought we barely talked that whole lunch. And Matt's like, you didn't shut up.
It's just because we weren't constantly interrupting each other.
When did you have time to eat? Because you never stopped talking. We have a gift. We have a gift. And it's the gift of
never
gander.
Silent?
Gabber. Gibber.
Gibberish.
No. Gabbing. Gabbing is the word I'm looking for. The gift of gab.
We do like to yap. We're some yappers.
This and yap.
And we don't like moments of silence. Unless it's...
Especially following the pledges in school. I'm just kidding. If you don't know, in Texas, we have to say, oh no. What? We have to say the pledge and then we do a moment of silence. Fielding has entered the chat. What do you have in your mouth?
Oh my God. Something chokeable. Okay. He's okay. He spit it out.
Jesus,
hey, look,
Lord.
We survived the book club. Let's do cheers and jeers real quick before we move on.
Cheers. My baby angel boy is 3 years old. My sweet little love.
Little cherub baby,
I love
tiny.
Him. I know I was just railing on motherhood, but I love being his mom more and more every day. He is the best kid.
So much fun.
I just love him.
And this age is a lot of fun.
I know.
Too.
He's such a sweet guy. I'm just so lucky that that's my baby. Cheers. I don't really know.
That's good. If you think of one, let me know. You can interrupt me.
I mean, maybe just that I can't snap my fingers and he can't learn how to be potty trained. I have to put so much effort in.
Yeah, that's true. And
I'm just
relatable.
I'm not ready to put the effort in.
Tucker found his potty training stickers. Fun fact, he's not potty trained. We tried it and we gave up, but he found his stickers.
Hi. Where'd what go? You got snot? Okay. Can you wait just a second?
Almost done, bub. Almost done. I can wait a minute if you need to.
That's okay. Snot boy. Where'd what go? Hey, can you say bye?
Bye.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I know how to distract him with my daughter. My cheers. We did a Monster Jam yesterday, and the kids honestly did so well. I did not know how they were going to do with the loud noises. Obviously, we brought headphones, but they had fun, and it was honestly fun to watch.
Good.
I didn't think I would be that into it.
Yeah.
Now, by the end of the day, I was worn out because we had
You had a long weekend.
In a long weekend, we celebrated Matt's birthday. That was part of my cheers too. We went to a kind of a karate escape room, but you know what? It's still fun to spend time together. So, and then jeers. Nothing really bad has been happening, but Addie did come home from school today in the car, and she tells me, Mom, I'm an adult and I'm pregnant and I'm going to have my baby tomorrow. She goes, I'm pregnant. I was like, no, so that's not, nope. And I said, were y'all playing? No, that was my look on my face.
I don't know what to say. I can't imagine those words coming out of her mouth.
It was wild. I'm like, where did you learn the word pregnant at? I mean, I know you've heard it, but the fact that she knew it in context. Yeah, no, literally. She goes, whenever I get out of the car, you're going to see that I'm going to have a baby tomorrow. So I don't know what they're letting them play at school.
Dear God, give us 20 more years before she says those words to us.
Oh God, yeah. No, we have 20 more years for sure.
Adeline.
But yeah, that was my
Thought I heard crying.
my aghast moment that I had. So
Adeline, always keeping us on our toes. Let me tell you.
Yep. All right. Well, that
I
about
think that's
sums it up.
Thanks for joining us for our mini-sode, full episode next week, most likely. Sorry, we're short on time and brain cells. So we will talk to you guys later. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe. And toodles.
Cheers. Bye.